Maggie says I need another beer, despite not having even cracked my first one.
Oh, well, what are you drinking?
Apparently, another fucking beer.
Just the age
The
old
Bud Light.
We got a 30 rack at Walmart, and it was like $18. Is that a White Russian?
It's kind of like a White Russian. It's what do you call this, Abby?
I have no fucking idea.
It's vanilla vodka and rum chata.
That could be delicious.
It's so delicious, and it's like you can feel the heat coming off of it.
She brought me a second beer.
Not the heat, the horsepower. What's the horsepower on that one?
Yeah.
Hello.
She's right
Are you going to join us?
She's already joined us via nose pick.
All right.
He's gonna play some video games. I'm assuming some Animal Crossing.
Some Animal Crossing.
How
How
are
is
you gonna
Animal
roll it?
Crossing? It's all I'm hearing about lately is everyone's playing Animal Crossing and watching fucking Tiger King.
Yeah, it's apparently super fun, and it's really farmy and like grindy, and you're like harvesting apples and building buildings. You're staring at me in a really weird way. I still see you. Anyway, but yeah, Animal Crossing is apparently super fun. But yeah, it's really like it's kind of like a Farmville. It doesn't really have like an end. You're just kind of continually like building your island and building stuff and doing stuff. She just connected the Switch up to the internet, so now she can go over to her friend Roy's island and harvest wood or something. I don't know.
Harvest is wood.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But like, yeah, she like fishes and stuff like that. Like, it's definitely one of those games where you can just get absorbed and like wrapped up in, and pretty much waste a ton of time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the definition of video games, right? It's entertainment, but I don't know that many people are actually accomplishing anything by playing them.
You mean video games in general or Animal Crossing?
I mean video games in general. Unless you're playing like competitively and actually making real dollars, then you're just spinning your wheels, right? That's not to say that it's not a bad thing. It's just you're not creating anything.
No, definitely not. I mean, I have made friends in video games that I still talk to this very day. It's just a matter of, are you going to let them take over your life? Or are you going to play them in your spare time, like everything in balance kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Abby, what are you drinking?
Same thing as you, my dear.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Vanilla Absolute and rum chata.
Ooh, so good.
Do you remember Fake Leg Katie? She
Yes.
introduced me to vanilla vodka and ginger ale, and that was unbelievable.
Really?
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Vanilla vodka, ginger ale. She bought it for me at a bar before I was 21, and she's just like, "Here, I bought this for me," and I was just like, "Oh, it's a girly drink," and I took it, and I was like, "It's my fucking drink." So goddamn good.
I wonder how she's doing. I heard she got married.
Yeah, that was the last I ever heard, was that she had gotten married and kind of just, axed most of us.
Yeah,
My
usually
friend-
that's what happens.
My friend Adina got some super girly drink. I think we went out one time for like her birthday or something like that. And she ordered something that I think had like bubblegum vodka or bubblegum rum and like ginger ale or something. I can't remember what was in it, but I didn't hear what she ordered. Like she goes to the guy, "Oh yeah, I'll have this." And I was just like, whatever, I'll just have whatever she's having. Like I just wasn't thinking about it. And I didn't know what I wanted at the time. And the dude made it for
you were
me.
in the make it double mode, like make that.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, two of them, two of those. Yeah, that sounds good.
I've done
And he
that
serves
before.
it up, and it's like slightly pink, like a pinkish brown. And I'm like, oh, all right, this looks weird. And I took a sip, and I was like, oh no. She goes, do you want something else? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Oh man.
She's like, yeah, no, I did not think that you were going to like that. I'm like, I did not.
No. No.
Yeah, it's like when I get a dirty Bombay Sapphire martini. I got that at a work gathering once,
No.
and everyone was like, I've never had a martini before. I've seen them, but I've never had one. And I just, every single time someone asks, I just look at them and I'm like, you won't like it. Every single time I'm like, do you like salt water? And they're like,
Oh,
what? And I'm like, yeah, do you like salt water? Because that's what this tastes like with a hint of gin. And they're like, no, I'm good. I'm like, yep, and that's why I get this. And drink the entire thing in front of them.
oh, I like
Yeah,
a good martini, but
I
like,
love martinis, but not gin martinis.
yeah, I do not like
Vodka
gin.
martinis.
Yeah, vodka
Vodka
martinis.
martinis.
I
Yeah, gin
can't do
martinis are.
gin.
Gin is just
Correction.
awful.
I can do gin if it's done correctly in a really good cocktail.
Like a martini.
No, not in a martini.
I've never had gin that I liked. Like, no matter what is done with the drink or
So-
whatever, I'm like,
Actually, you've had a really good drink that I've ordered that you actually liked. But when quarantine is over, I'm going to take you to this really like hipster bar
Is it a gin?
where they actually,
It's a goddamn gin bar.
are you going to tell me what's in it?
No,
Or?
they have everything. But I used to go to these really cool like hipster bars, and they're kind of like hole in the walls. And this one in particular, you really wouldn't know it was there unless you know exactly where it is, because it's down an alley. And you kind of enter through the back door, but you enter this place and then it opens up into, this hipster bar, and like the seats are these cushions that are on a floor, and then the bartenders, everything is measured precisely perfect. They muddle everything, or if there's certain fruits in it, but it was
Sounds
the
really
first time that I
overhandled.
had a gin drink that I actually enjoyed, and I was blown away. So if it's
It
done
sounds like a lot.
correctly and measured correctly, then gin actually can be good, but I am not a gin drinker.
What do they call it at those like hipster bars where it's not a bartender? What is the dude? Is it a mixologist? Or
Mixologist.
what was the other term? There was something else at those like real hipster bars where they're like, yeah, I took the zest of a pomegranate. I'm like, you can't. Oh, what do they call? I can't remember. No, nobody's got anything. No one's gonna chime in.
Hold up. I got barkeeper, mixologist, tapster, alewife, barmaid, barman, publican. Yeah, right.
What the fuck?
No, but
Tapper,
mixologist,
taverner, Vic. I don't even know if this is correct. Victualler, Victualler, Boniface, butler, soda jerk, steward, or vintner.
Okay, this got out of control real fast.
You asked. You're like, oh, does anybody have any suggestions? And then I come
no,
back.
there's a certain term, and I guess it's mixologist, but I thought
you have to be a mixologist. But I know people who are mixologists. Like that's what they've been bartenders for so long that they've actually learned the trade of being a mixologist. They can do that.
I feel like that if you pump gas a lot, you can then graduate from gas pump attendant to fuel delivery technician.
Well, no, but people who have been bartending for so long, and you say, okay, just make me something, and then they might ask you, okay, what's your flavor profile? What are things that you know that you like? And I've had people who have gone and just made me like really awesome drinks that they've just concocted.
They're
like
how
on
do you
their own.
feel
Like,
about
I've
truffle
played
oil?
with different things. Like they know what liquors work with what liquors, because certain things you can't mix together and it is something good.
And the essence of a dodo feather. Like,
Well, Well, I mean, think about it. Like I've
You're
made.
not wrong, Abby.
Like-
I'm gonna cold smoke this martini for you while my friend yells mango in the other
You
room.
can't
You'll
do
love
2
it.
ounces of this and 1 ounce of that, or an ounce and a half of this and 2 ounces of that.
Mango! Like,
my
oh
God.
shit! I really feel the essence of him yelling mango in the other room.
So every now and again, I get retargeted on Facebook for the Tipsy Bartender, and it's a YouTube channel. And I think it's the stupidest bullshit in the universe. This guy, he does all of these like really like showboaty like drinks and stuff, and I'm like, no one will drink that. That looks like it tastes like absolute trash. And the only reason you did it is to make it look cool. And like, if that's all you're going for is just to make drinks that look cool, fine. I could make a fucking Rain-X and coolant smoothie and be like, look how cool it looks. But the second I go, let's try
I feel
it.
like Justin has Rain-X and coolant right in front of him. That's
Other room.
I mean, you very well could.
Other room. I have Rain-X in the other room.
I'm not gonna lie, it would probably look really interesting to drink, and I might actually try it. That green color.
There's so much glitter in this. Is this edible glitter? Edible?
That dude made this one drink.
Wait, were you just watching like Cloud9 with me? Superstore?
I caught that little bit of it while I was walking by. I really want to watch that show, but I feel like I'm way too far behind.
Yeah, you're like 12 seasons behind.
Yeah, I can't. I feel intimidated by that.
Dan, I know you got a busy work schedule. So
Being in quarantine.
Mayhaps even, you can just binge all 12 seasons and call it a day.
Are you kidding me? I can't even get this dude to like binge Ozark with me. He like quits after 3 episodes.
Like a good show. What are you doing?
Yo,
This is it.
I had so much to do. Like, I'm actually working from
all
home.
these activities.
We have so much to do.
I had so much to do.
It took me another 45 minutes for you to get your ass downstairs to make dinner with me.
That's because I forgot that I was an integral part of that. I came in here to check the render on something else, and then I started editing it more. And then you were like, yo, are you going to come down here and help me cook? And I was like, oh, right. I am the one who uses the grill.
No.
I am the one who grills.
Downstairs and decided that you were going to open a bag of Doritos, and I looked at you like, yo, are you going to like start up the grill and get the wings on or what?
Look, I don't know why.
Right. Oh, right. Now I'm going to cook.
Obnoxious. I don't know why I'm the only one who can grill. Like, why is that an official rule?
It's not an official rule, but I was already using the oven to cook the side tonight.
Sounds
and
like you probably could have put the wings right in there with it, couldn't you have?
That's not what we decided. We decided we were going to put them on the grill.
Yeah, and what I said was, I'm not sure why I'm the only one who can use the grill. Like, you can grill things.
Right. I can.
You're a strong, independent woman. You don't need no man.
Decided you were going to make them.
No, man, you need a big hulking prostate in order to grill anything.
A big, hulking, oversized prostate. Not nigh cancerous.
If it takes you less time than 30 seconds between drips of urine, you can't grill. Right.
I commented something on Jason's post. He put up something, and it was like, I think he's doing like his like creative writing thing where he's well, I mean, he always does creative writing, but I think he went for like a poetry lean this time, but it was like really aggressive and masculine, and I was like, this guy looks like he can build a deck. He looks like he could catch a walleye.
Okay.
This guy grills for sure.
This guy fucks.
This guy fucks. This guy
Yeah.
fucks, and this guy grills.
Today.
Boobies.
Sweet Ruby.
Everybody loves a doggy.
We love Ruby boobies. Aw.
Ruby is sleeping. today.
Oh, you lagged out for a second.
I heard Ruby is sleep today.
Sleeping her head
Or
off.
sleeping.
Oh,
She's a tired girl.
Yeah, Eris has been ignoring us quite a bit. She came and hung out with us yesterday when we were work from home, but largely she just stays out in the living room, doesn't come in here.
I think they're kind of like at this point, like, why are you guys always around? Like, get out.
Yeah, it's weird. Eris thinks it's weird too, because like she has her routine that, because like if I come home on lunch, she is always asleep. Pretty much every single time I come home on lunch, she's asleep like right where I left her. So like I'll put her in the corner and pet her and get her kneading and all that, and then I'll leave for work and then come home on lunch and she's still there. And so now we like go into the computer room where I am right now and then come out like on break or lunch and she's just like,
fuck,
thought
you're
you were
still
gone.
here?
Yeah. It's been fucking weird.
Yeah, the dogs are not used to not having unfettered access to the couches whenever they want. I'm walking in a room like, get off the couch, and they're like, oh shit, you're here?
That's great.
What the fuck, bro? This is
Or
my
like-
couch time.
Or they're like, oh, I want to go out whenever.
Oh, you lagged out again. No one can hear you.
Oh,
Oh, she's fully locked up. She's so locked up, she doesn't even realize she's locked up.
you know what platform this never happened on? Skype.
Skype.
Hey, she's back. Hey, you want to tell your story again?
That, the dogs are like, oh, I have to go out anytime they want. Doesn't matter that I'm working. And then I can go a full 8-hour day. But now it's like in your face, like, hey, I gotta go out. I'm gonna be in your face.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to have to retrain their bladders when we go back to work.
Yeah, definitely. There'll probably be a solid like week or two of adjustment for the two of them.
Oh,
I can't imagine because they're probably going to be like, but you're leaving, but you were here this whole time. Knowing Tucker, he's going to get that like really sad look on his face when both of you are like, no, we're leaving. The whole time?
yeah, my baby boy.
Tough
Oh,
daddy.
He gets so excited in the morning. He's like jumping around and stuff like that. And he like wags his tail so hard that he's like thumping. Like,
Oh
I
my
can't control
God.
my body.
I didn't even tell you what happened the other night. So the other night we've been painting upstairs as a project, and I had some paper across the ceiling because our new spray painter, which is amazing, it will spray on the ceiling if it's not properly,
Oh, yeah.
taped off. And the paper fell during the night, scared the crap out of Tucker. So he started barking at it and then came into the bedroom. So I took him outside. He went to the bathroom, came upstairs, and then proceeded to then sleep next to me because he was so scared to sleep out in the living room where he normally sleeps now because the
Aw.
paper fell from the ceiling.
Look, I love that he barks at something that may be attacking the house. That's perfect. That's what you want a dog for, is the early warning system, right? The alarm system. The fact that he barks his head off at literally anything, like our neighbor was getting a propane delivery the other day, and I was trying to like film something, like doing like actually recording it, and all of
Filming
a sudden
my dick.
everything is shut down because Tucker is losing his mind 4 feet outside the door. I'm like, God damn it.
But then I didn't realize that Tucker was sleeping next to me, and then Dan was snoring his head off. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out to the couch, get a couple more hours of sleep before I have to get up for work. And Tucker decided, all right, well, Mom can't be out there alone. So he comes out here with me and proceeds to sleep right here to protect me
Wow.
the rest of the night because of the paper from the ceiling.
you never know when paper's gonna get you, you know. So
I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
everybody know that.
I mean, it was cool. He was warm and cuddly. Like, it didn't fall anymore. It's gone.
So there's a lot of political entities that are trying to capitalize on this coronavirus pandemic. What is your favorite right now? Because there's a lot of moving parts where people are freaking the fuck out.
So fate. No, I have no favorite part of this. Only because of my own job. Oh man. So
Don't say anything that's going to get you fired.
I'm not going to say anything that's going to be fired. Nothing happened today or at any time that would get me fired. But today I had a ticket where someone was having trouble downloading a file. Now, they were kind of upset that the file was stuck at 0% progress. And so I looked at the screenshot that they sent me. Do you want to know what size the file was that they were trying to download?
Oh my goodness.
Take a guess.
Was it larger than 1 gig?
Oh, yes. Much larger.
Tell me it was like a terabyte.
Oh, much larger than a terabyte.
What the fuck were they trying to download?
I'll skip the guessing game. It was 15.44 exabytes.
I don't even know what that is.
Right? So
Fuck is an exabyte?
exabyte, dude, for real.
Exabyte. I mean, I'm not even saying it right.
Did they
EYTE.
have room on what they were trying to download it on?
No, of course not. Fucking
course
Deep
not.
Blue for the government doesn't have that kind of room. He was downloading a whole database of like all of China's files. What the fuck was he doing?
I don't know. Oh, he couldn't. The functionality of one of the programs was causing the download to pause, and for some reason, and I can't share the screenshot because there's a bunch of other stuff in the background, but like, and it's on my work computer. But like, I initially thought that all the numbers was the file name, because it's like, you know, the joke. It's like, what the fuck is this, my bill or is this my phone number? It's like, oh, that's your phone number. Oh. But I thought that this was the file name, and it was just a jumble of numbers. But it was literally 15 like septillion or something megabytes. And so I looked, exactly. I looked and I was just like, that's not the file name. That's the file size. What the hell? And so I didn't even say anything to this guy. I was like, so is your issue still occurring? And he was just like, actually, no, it's not. And I was like, all right, great. Have a great day. I'm not even going to try and figure out what the hell is 15.44 exabytes large that you are trying to download and are then subsequently upset that it's not moving. So I shared
internet,
it,
all of it.
right? So I shared this with the level 2 team, like our direct level 2 team. I was like, so guys, looks like we need to create a ticket for more data center storage. And they were like, so I just was like, yeah, this guy, like, he, you know, trying to download.
You want to download the world?
He's just trying to download this massive file. They were like, what is this? It was so funny. So that has been my favorite part of quarantine, is all of the VPN users and some of the things that we are seeing as a result. Oh man, it is just crazy. I can't even imagine what's going on at other companies that have lesser IT departments than mine.
It can't be easy. There's so many more people that are teleworking, and like, yo, Zoom must be making cajillions of dollars right now. It doesn't even matter that they're being sued left and right. They're like, we don't give a fuck. We're making money hand over fist.
Well, I mean, they just decided to halt what they were doing and put everybody on for the next 90 days to tighten all of their security measures. Hence why we can't get in without you letting us in at this point.
I feel like that was, I don't feel like there was anything malicious with that. Like, I feel like it was just like, they didn't know how quickly they were going to blow up. They weren't aware of like what the global markets were going to do. I wonder how this is going to change how companies view teleworking going forward, and how it'll change the education system in this country, like, permanently.
Well, it's certainly interesting now that, you know, people are like, oh, your job can't be done remotely. Oh yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so many companies
and
that look at teleworking like, oh, you just want a fucking vacation. You just want to roll out of bed. It's like, well, yes, that alone uses so much less resources. There's no reason I can't do what I do here from rolling out of bed and immediately doing it better at home.
Yep.
And then I get more sleep, I work out more, I eat healthier.
Way
Like
healthier, way better.
like it's hopefully this forces employers across the world to go, oh yeah, you know what, you don't really need to be here in my face to actually be useful. I
well,
feel
think about it. I mean, it would save on office space, which reduces the cost of, property that people need. It reduces the cost of, office furniture and electricity, and it's amazing the cost savings that it would save on companies to allow
Yeah.
people to work remotely.
I'll give you a
Absolutely.
perfect example. The company that I work for doing Google AdWords, the owner, like he was 100% against telecommuting. He was always like, you get more done in the office. It's a team environment. You can't like turn around and talk to someone about something. And so you need to be in the office. We need the FaceTime. And then that dude would be in the office for 30 minutes a day from 4:30 to 5 p.m. to make sure that we didn't leave early. So it literally, he's the owner, so you can come and go as he pleases, which you're the owner, whatever, it's your company. But by the very same token, he was like, meetings have to be done in person. You can't do anything remotely. Everything has to be done here in the office. And I remember like we would have extenuating circumstances sometimes. My coworker, for example, his son got ear infections all the time, and so he'd have to stay home from daycare because if you have an ear infection in daycare, they're gonna tell you to stay home until it's done. They don't want to infect any other kids.
I don't think
Conjunctivitis.
you can infect another kid with an ear infection. I think they just didn't want to deal with it.
That
Because ear
too.
infections can be incredibly painful, and there's not shit that you can do for that person
Mm-hmm.
besides like give them like a warm, like damp
Thing.
cloth.
Yeah, I used to get them.
No, but
I know
they
what
can
they
cause
feel like.
fevers, and then if the kid has a fever, then you have to stay home.
Yeah.
Either way, like whenever my coworker's son was sick, he would have to take a day off. And so he's like, yep, so put my son to bed and it's like 9:15 and I have nothing to do right now. It's like, oh yeah, well your son's gonna wake up in probably like an hour or two, and then you're gonna have to watch him. Like, oh no, he'll sleep all day, and when he's not asleep, he'll be in front of the iPad. He's just has like an ear infection or eye infection or something. But I have to take a full day off because the owner won't let me work from home, and I'm like, that's dumb. I remember when I got my
Yeah.
septoplasty, the operation on my nose, I was like, hey, so like I'm gonna have this like weird bandage on my face for a few days, and I'm gonna start randomly bleeding from my nose throughout the day. Is there any way that I could work from home like the rest of this week so that I can avoid that in like a meeting or something? Nope. I had to come into the office with the mustache bandage on. And I was like, is this really what you want to see right now? So that I could what? Do nothing all day? Because it's really what that job was. Like the work was really streaky.
Yeah.
So there would be days where you'd have nothing to do, but you had to be in the office all day, every day. You couldn't leave.
Look,
It's
there's
dumb.
jobs that you have to be there for, like physical security and stuff like that.
Customer facing stuff.
Yeah,
These
and
are
labor
jobs.
positions. I mean, obviously, you have to be there for that. But if there's something that you're doing that's remotely digital, if it's done from a computer, fucking 99 times out of 100, you can do that from your house, and you could probably do it more efficiently.
I always used to say I could do that job from a shitty Wi-Fi connection in Bangladesh. I could do it from the fucking International Space Station. It doesn't matter. As long as I can log on to google.com from any computer, which is literally any computer, I can do that job. I don't even need my own computer. I can just be like, hey, Dan, I'm coming over to your house right now. And you'd be like, okay. I could literally log onto your computer right this second and do my job uninhibited. That's how portable Google AdWords was. And we could not do anything other than come into that office, refuse to let us work from home. And according to a friend of mine that's still at that company, he finally relented. and it was only because of the governor. And like once the governor's order came down, he was like, okay. Just one of
It's
those
fucking
people.
ridiculous.
It's
Yeah,
stupid.
and I mean, one of the things that we have is we have Skype for Business. So it's like the whole, you have to be able to, turn around and be able to talk to somebody. Well, that's what
Whoa.
Skype for Business allows
Skype
us
is
to
fun.
do is we can just be like, oh, hey, this, oh, hey, this. And we literally can shoot an IM over to somebody and be like, this is what I need.
I had a
And
job
why is
interview
that something
today
that
with
you
it.
can't have up on your screen anyway? Like,
I logged into Skype all day, every day at work.
Yeah,
People
all
will
day.
messages and
That's what I
stuff
mean.
all the time. I had a job interview today over Skype. I'm not applying out, I'm applying for a promotion, but like I had a job interview today over Skype and it was perfect. I had my suit jacket and shirt and tie on and then pajama pants on because there's no way you're going to see me from the waist down.
Right.
And if you were looking at me from the waist down, I'd be like standing in front of the camera like a weirdo.
Yeah.
So I stayed sitting the entire time and I look professional as fuck. And like, why is that any different than going in for an interview? We talked to each other. We had 60 FPS video. Yeah, I saw my boss's kids and like husband like fucking around in the background. But like, whatever. I get calls all the time from people who are like, yeah, sorry, my kid's rattling around the other room. And I'm like, okay, go beat the shit out of them to stop. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
It's okay.
but hopefully this will change the landscape of the workplace across the
needs to.
world.
I'm really hoping it will, just like you said.
I mean, because it's so much more environmentally conscious. I mean, they're talking about how like dolphins are coming back to Italy because of like a reduction in and like the ozone layer is repairing itself because people aren't everyone's not fucking driving around. Like gas is like $1.12. Like what the
Yeah,
what the
I haven't
fuck are
seen
we?
gas
Talked about
that
how
cheap this century.
millions of eggs for sea turtles were just laid on the beaches of India. Millions of sea turtle eggs.
They're the endangered
Because
ones
people
too.
aren't-
That's so awesome. That's so good to hear.
All of the clams are like coming to shore on Old Orchard Beach.
Yeah.
That's in Maine, right up the street from us.
Humans just decided, you know what? Let's stop fucking around for 3 weeks, and all of nature is like, like rebounding. Like, oh,
You're
thank
right.
God the fucking virus has calmed itself down.
Yep.
Because they got their own virus to slow their asses down. Sit at home for a little bit. Okay.
But that's the thing, though, is that our society right now is so antiquated because of all of the things that have they've always been. You go to work. You drive to work. You drive to the grocery store. You drive here. You drive there. Well, now we got shit like HelloFresh. We get telecommuting. Do we really need 2 vehicles in this family? Like, yeah, it's super convenient. Like, I can be gone elsewhere and Maggie can be somewhere else too. But like, it doesn't happen very often anymore. And especially if we're work from home, I mean, that's the biggest contributor to the wear and tear on our cars is the daily drive, even though it's like 10 minutes away. Imagine if the world just kind of stays like this, where pretty much everyone works from home, if you can. We're going to see, just like you guys said, a humongous reduction in greenhouse gases, a huge repatriation of wildlife to where they belong, and a large reduction in just all of the waste accompanying our business lifestyle. Like how many
Yeah.
how many people do you think commute into New York City every single day that don't need to? Think about that.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
just
this
around
has
here in the
proven a
Northeast.
point. It's I hope things change for the better. I mean, because we've been technologically able to do this for a long time, and maybe the infrastructure needs some updating now. Because I mean, obviously, internet networks are strained right now, especially with people streaming all their TV and everything like that. I mean,
Yep, it's very true.
so maybe there's an update to that to deal with the shift, but maybe we move as a society more towards a technological, I mean, I don't want to say revolution. Well, maybe a technological revolution where we
Think about it.
properly utilize all of what we have available to us.
And think about how much nature is going to come back. I mean, a friend of mine.
I swear to God, I've seen it this week.
Like a friend of mine took a video. She just posted it on Facebook. There were 3 deer at her living room window, literally at her window.
Yeah,
Just
we've had a herd. What do you call a group of birds? A flock of turkeys.
Flock of seagulls.
A flock of turkeys literally just fucking milling around our back, like the backyards of ours and the neighbors surrounding us. They're like, oh, people aren't out here fucking shit up and throwing stuff at us and hitting us with cars. I guess we run this bitch now.
Oh, I guess we have our land back.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's more, like I've literally seen bird species that I've never seen in person in my life before this week. And maybe it's that, I'm spending more time looking outside of windows, like, and being near my home. But I feel like, honestly, it's like, no, I don't, because I've always been an outdoors guy anyway. I'm like, no, there just weren't that many of those fucking things for me to even see.
Yeah. It's the truth. I mean, think about how much nature hides from us because they're scared. How many times, you see a bird that's, really cool looking. You're like, come here, bird. And the bird's like, fuck off. You can't just like call a coyote over and pet him real quick.
That would be a terrible idea for a number of reasons.
For a number of reasons, right. But like, you can't do that. And so they hide from us because they're scared. They think that they're going to get hurt because we can't talk to them and be like, hey, I just want to pet you. Nothing more. Like, we can't do that. So they're going to hide from us.
All kinds of animal populations are rebounding because of this. There's been reports of fucking mountain lions and wolves and shit just strolling through neighborhoods at all times now.
Good.
Well,
Fucking good.
That you bring up a good point, though. Just make sure that you're kind of strapped if you guys are back in the woods, like late at night.
You know me, bro. If I legally can be, I'm always armed. Unless I'm going somewhere specifically that has banned the carrying of firearms for whatever reason.
Okay, you work.
That is the only time I am not fucking armed.
Your kid's school.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh, I told you about the shitty form letter I got back from my congressman about that HR 5717 thing, right?
Yup. I don't think you have to worry, though, because Trump is going to be the president for the next 5 years.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know why you're worried.
Oh, God. I
Yeah,
can't believe the
All right,
fucking
hold on. Before we get into
DNC
this, can we
fucked
pause?
Bernie. Okay.
We need drinks.
We literally, like, everyone was like, let's get fucking ramped up and into this. And you're like, let's get drinks. All right, but I'm down for that. All right, we'll take a pause and hitting the pause button now.
Did I do it? I bet I didn't.
That was exact position you were in. It had to be.
Molecule for molecule, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No one will even see the cut, I promise.
No doubt.
Agreed. No, I was making
Hey,
a...
by the way, we cut for a second. So if you
Oh,
like
we
that
did?
cut, hit like and comment below.
Oh.
are you? If they haven't liked or commented below by now, I don't think they're gonna.
People don't like or comment on these. Actually, no, we've had 2 comments, I think, so far.
Yeah?
Really?
I'm like across the world or what?
I don't know. Someone called, I believe, me and Jason handsome men.
That was me.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the video and I was just like, damn, handsome man.
Oh, that's delicious.
What is it? It looks like pea.
It is. It's Tennessee honey. Check
Wait,
it out.
Ooh,
Tennessee
like
honey.
Celtic
vanilla is
Crossing?
Really good for Jim
It
Beam.
is.
By the way.
Wait, hold up. This is an analogous Celtic Crossing?
I would not say it's analogous to Celtic Crossing. It
Okay.
is a reasonable facsimile.
It's pour one out.
You have to
Celtic
try the
Crossing.
Jim Beam vanilla. It's delicious.
All right.
All right, I'll check that one out.
So when
So what were we about to fire? Someone pulled the cord on the chainsaw, but
oh yeah.
all right. So fucking Bernie backed out,
Yeah, this is just horrendous. 4-1-0 for Bernie.
go.
and
man.
the
Go,
fucking
political.
DNC, goddamn DNC, did it again.
Forewarning, we're going political.
Oh,
Oh, we weren't talking about like Bernie down the road that runs the raspberry stand? Fuck, I'm out.
Oh,
Fucking out.
man.
Bernie's out of raspberries.
I am once again asking you to buy my raspberries.
Oh, I mean, we knew it wasn't gonna work. We knew it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as all right, first of all, just like you said, as soon as Bernie put all of that fucking like Democrat anti-gun shit in his platform, I knew right then it was over. Because
Which was a compromise for him. He'd never done that shit.
yeah.
He was trying to make himself more palatable to the DNC, but still
They didn't like it.
was not willing to give up the whole socialist platform, and even Democratic politicians are not willing to go for a socialist system right now. There's just too much money to be made for the political elite right now.
It's going to take something like the coronavirus to really set that up where we would get something like that. Now, I don't agree with the Democrats on a lot of stuff. I don't agree with the Republicans on virtually anything. But I completely agree. There are large swaths of this country that are just simply not ready, nor would they want that kind of a system of government. That said, I think that once he probably got into office, he would have to pivot a little bit more toward the center, only because he would have the hostile Congress, and he would also have Democrats that were hostile to him too. So the Bidens, the Steny Hoyers, those people who are, true blue Democrats, but at the same time, they're old and conservative Democrats, and they're not going to go with Bernie's agenda.
Yeah,
So,
but now you got fucking Biden. I don't want to send people to jail for marijuana, but I also don't want to make it legal. Pick a lane, old fuck.
dude,
And the whole we're gonna get fucking Beto O'Rourke to come take your guns. Like, oh well, congratulations.
Good
You
luck.
just lost like 60% of the country right there immediately.
There are plenty of Democrats that support free and open gun rights as the Constitution intended.
Especially after this. Holy fucking shit.
Especially after
You've got
this.
people grabbing guns left and right due to the coronavirus type of thing. And fucking Alyssa Milano came out today on fucking Twitter like, oh, fucking stay safe, wash your hands, and don't bring dangerous weapons into your home. And fucking James Woods immediately retweeted it with like, oh, you just reminded me. Everybody, make sure you go get enough ammo. When James Woods' crazy ass is fucking going, no, stop it. That's enough.
Yeah, that's just too much. Like that the anti-gun culture is just as toxic as the crazy gun culture. And it's just
And
an echo
people are
chamber.
seeing how ridiculous it is to be super far on either side of it. Like, I'm a gun nut.
No shit.
But I'm a big proponent of firearm education. It used to be
I
a
wouldn't
part.
even call you a nut, man.
No,
I wouldn't.
I do
Okay.
love guns, but I'm a big proponent. Like, firearm education used to be a pivotal part of the education system in the United States. It was difficult to find
public schools.
Yeah, public education. It was difficult to find a high school that didn't have a competition rifle team up until the late 70s. This is a fairly new thing where everyone's like, oh God, we should be scared of guns. It's like, no, you got fucking soft. And you forgot what the Second Amendment was written for. I wrote that goddamn letter to my congresswoman, and I said, hey, I'm worried about this HR 5717 bill that's basically every gun control measure rolled up into one. And by the way, red flag laws are incredibly dangerous. And she sent me back, well, I won't say she,
Oh,
someone
God.
on her staff sent me back some fucking form letter talking about, well, we understand that our main voters are big hunters. And I'm like, fuck you. That's not what the Second Amendment is about. The Second Amendment is about self-defense and defending our people against a tyrannical government. Why are we fucking ignoring that's what that was written for? Why are we acting like the Second Amendment was written for going out and shooting deer? It's not. Fuck you.
Not
You
only
can't
that,
use that shit as justification for shit.
if our system of government collapses and the only thing that's left are militias to protect like neighborhoods, the Constitution guarantees that. Like the LA riots in 92. Was it 92 or 94?
Yeah, Rooftop Koreans. It was 94. No,
94.
wait. April 22nd, 1992.
Yeah, it's 92. I did the same thing and I couldn't
There was a
remember.
riot on the streets. Tell me, where were you?
Exactly. So I had a class in high school because it was coming up on the 10th anniversary of those. And so my law and society class in high school did a whole unit on the LA riots, what caused them, what happened during them, the aftermath, like all of it. And we watched so many documentaries about it. And one of them stuck out for me is that they said there was one neighborhood, and kind of like Grand Theft Auto, like Grove Street Families, like it was like one long road that like all the people on that one road like really were close and knew each other, but it was in like downtown LA. So, anybody could just drive right on up, right on through and do what they wanted. And so this dude, he said the police would drive around. They couldn't do anything because the entire city was rioting, but the police would drive around looking to see if anyone needed help. All the guns would go away, all the bats would go away, all the weapons would go away, but the police knew they had them. But they weren't going to do fuck all because the city's on fire. But the Constitution, in times of crisis and times not of crisis, guarantees our right to do that. The government has no power right now. That's
Dude,
fine.
Google the term rooftop Koreans, because the Koreans from in South Central LA that were literally gathering on the rooftops with their fucking firearms to protect their stores, because there was a huge Korean population in South Central LA at the time that had a bunch of stores and businesses and stuff like that, and they were protecting themselves from the looters. Fucking, that's like, that people are like, oh yeah, you want to be fucking rooftop Koreans now, because okay, we went to fucking Walmart to grab a couple of supplies. There were 24 eggs in fucking Walmart. Still nothing in the toilet paper aisle.
Yeah, it's still empty.
And we
Towels.
live way the fuck out,
McKinnon's
away
had some
from
today.
like major population centers. People in New York can't get fucking anything. There's nothing in the fucking stores. So when the lines of supply break down, when society is starting to break down and people are realizing that they can't get the things that they need to live, there's people organizing and going around and doing fucking home invasions right now.
Right this second.
Yeah, and you have police departments that are saying we're not responding to anything that isn't violent crime. We're also letting all prisoners out of jail that aren't violent criminals. So you're putting law enforcement into the hands of the average citizen and also trying to tell them, oh, your Second Amendment rights aren't valid right now.
Nope.
No, the Second Amendment, this is literally what the fuck it was created for.
Hold on. I'm going to up this right now. A friend of mine who never puts personal stuff on Facebook, her mother, who was home at the time, had her house broken into. She was robbed.
When was this, right? Recently?
Very recently, within the last few days.
Jesus.
So
God damn.
her house was broken into. They took some stuff, and one of them was a set of car keys. So at the first robbery took place, they were not home. They came back, actually, and tried then to steal the car that was associated with the car keys that they took. The police station was only a few blocks away. So the police actually did respond to that, and they were able to intercept that robbery, but the people who were trying to rob them got away. And they kept coming back every hour throughout the night. They were standing outside their house. They were coming back and just loitering. Like, how fucking scary is this shit? Her mother lives in a safe neighborhood, or what was
And the
assumed
police-
to be a safe neighborhood.
And the police during this are saying, well, okay, police departments themselves, individual police departments are still saying, especially around here, look, we're still here if you need us. Call us if you need us to respond. If you need a cop, call us. They're saying that right on their social media and everything like that. The problem is that they're stretched super thin, and in cities, they're not even saying that. We're talking like rural places and suburban places. The cops are still like, yeah, call us if you need us. In big cities where they're responding to real shit and also dealing with a tremendous amount of infected people, they're like, no, we're not coming. And people are all of a sudden thrust into a society where they're like, oh shit, we kept voting more and more and more left, and now I need a gun. You got the people in California that are going to gun stores en masse, and they're like, hey, yes, I would like all of the guns and the ARs and the hollow points and the whatevers. And the fucking gun stores are telling them, okay, do you have your state issued license? And they're like, no, the state is shut down. The state isn't doing shit. And they're like, oh, remember how you voted for this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, I need a gun right now. I went and I got someone on the phone and I faxed something. I used 1960s technology for whatever reason.
Has to
And
be
then
an
I paid
original.
with credit card and I got the proper paperwork. Can I get my gun now? And they're like, all right, cool. You got to wait 10 days because there's a 10-day waiting period. And they're like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Oh, shit! You voted for that too! And they're like, all right, well, can I get some of those 30-round mags? And they're like, no! You voted those out too, bitch! You can only buy one gun a month, and there's red flag laws, and there's this, and there's that, and there's the other. You don't fucking realize that you're throwing your freedoms away under this illusion of fucking safety for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, you're faced with the real fucking reality of fucking enemies. Domestic enemies outside your goddamn door, and you can't do shit about it.
You can call the
Because
police.
they want your toilet paper.
Because they want your toilet paper, and there's only 2 goddamn dozen eggs. Correction. There was a dozen eggs, and then there was another dozen eggs, but I opened that one up, and there were 2 eggs broken in that one, so I left that one, and I took the one good one.
You took the one good one that just got returned to the shelves by the Walmart worker, and I was like, oh, wait, there's a dozen that's walking its way back here right now.
Yeah. We probably should have grabbed the other dozen as well, even though it had the 2 eggs broken in it. But what's 2 eggs?
Honestly, if you go a little earlier in the day, like early, like 9-10 o'clock, there's actually a lot of stuff out.
Dude, you want to talk about real fucking weird shortages? We have been going around to different places trying to get chickens again. As you know, we had 11 chickens before, and because there's, for the most part, only 2 of us in the household, and chickens lay an egg every single day, sometimes 2 a day, it would get to the end of the week and we would have over 7 dozen eggs, and I can only eat so many goddamn 5-egg omelets.
I remember that.
So,
This is all my fault, by the way.
so we're giving them away left and right, and it just got to be fucking overwhelming. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So we gave the chickens away because we needed a break, and we were like, we can always just go to the store. We made the classic fucking mistake, right? So now we're like, okay, there's a dozen eggs at Walmart. Let's get chickens again, but we'll get like 4, 5, maybe 6.
Why not get like 2?
4.
Like 4. We need like 4 chickens.
Why?
'Cause-
But why 4?
Because I like those 4-egg omelets, bro.
Well,
Like
well,
8.
hold up. So if they lay an egg a day, sometimes 2, like, will you guys definitely eat up to 4 eggs a day potentially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You
even
just
if
said
we
it was
don't,
overwhelming.
here's the thing. 4 chickens laying eggs compared to a dozen chickens laying eggs, it's a lot easier to go, hey, do you guys want a dozen eggs? Or do you guys want like 6 eggs? Or do you guys want, it's a lot easier to get rid of the eggs you're not going to eat if it's not 7 fucking dozen of them. And you're like, hey, you guys want 4 dozen? And people are like, no, bro.
Regardless, the problem that we have
That's
right
a
now
lot
is
of
that
eggs.
there's no fucking chicken.
But yeah, that's the problem we're facing is we've gone around to all these different places and everyone is like, oh, there's a dozen eggs at Walmart. Let's buy up all the baby chicks. And also it's right before Easter too, so people think that shit's still cutesy. Like, oh, here's baby chicks for Easter.
And then it's like, oh, it's a live animal that I now have to care for.
Yeah.
No, we have the word on a place that's going to be getting chicken soon, so that's where we're going to go in a few days.
Yeah, we got a plan to go first thing in the
'Cause
morning.
they're not taking orders, and they're just going to show up, and that's
Yeah.
where we're going to be when they open.
And think I won't be fucking glocked up for that, bro. Because if a fucking riot breaks out at the undisclosed location where you can get chickens.
Which, by the way, we're going to get 6 because I plan on 2 dying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
We had 2 die last time.
That's why I'm saying I'm going to get 6 because I plan on at least 2 dying.
Yeah, because we grabbed 4, and I believe 1 died, and then you came home with like 4 more, and then another one died, and then you grabbed like 4 more.
That's when I'm dying.
Like every time, yeah, that's how we ended up with so many chickens.
So that I'm happy.
Okay. Plus, we're better at it this time. I mean, some of them just literally just don't make it. And occasionally a rooster slips
we
through.
have to get 6, and that way, if we have 6, we have 6. I mean, it's fine. We can deal with a half dozen chickens.
We talked to one place, and they were like, yeah, all we got is straight runs. And I'm like, oh, so you have 80% fucking roosters.
That sucks.
Oh, Ruby's dreaming over here.
That's what straight runs is that they don't check the sex of them. Like the last ones, the 4 sisters that we got, they were red sex links, meaning when they're born, if they're a certain color, then they're roosters, and if they were red, then they're hens. So we specifically got those ones. I don't know the science behind that fucking magic, but then there was like another group of them where they were all supposed to be hens. They were pullets. And
we got a rooster.
We still ended up with a rooster. But straight runs, they just take whatever chickens hatch and they just grab up a bunch of them and they fucking put them in. So that means that you're going to end up with the majority of them as fucking males, because if they can figure out that it's a female, they can charge more for it and people scoop them up and everything like that. So the straight runs, no bueno. So there was like one place that we found, they were like, yeah, we've got 2 turkeys, a bunch of pullets, or no, what did they say?
Guinea? They got bantams, they had guineas.
Yeah, bantams, the tiny ones, and guinea fowl. So tiny eggs. Maybe that's what we should have done, is gotten like fucking a dozen guinea hens and just had tiny eggs.
All the ticks.
Yeah, I would have had like fucking 8 egg omelets, but it would have been the same. Oh shit, we should have done that. Well, no,
I mean, I think that once you guys get the coop all set again and get the actual chicks and get them grown, they'll probably lay enough eggs for you and enough to give away like a dozen or 2 like every month or so.
Yeah, we need to build the coop.
You're not going to buy one?
Well, we might buy one. We might buy a kit. The thing is, I want laying boxes that are outside of the main coop. I don't want, because what we had before is they were roosting above the laying boxes, so they were constantly shitting on the eggs, which is
so we need a coop that doesn't have a roost over the boxes. So one that has the boxes that are at least separate.
And I might even attach rollout laying boxes as well. so that they lay the eggs and it immediately rolls out into a reservoir. So even if because sometimes you will get chickens that will want to like sleep in the laying boxes instead
They're
of,
fucking weird.
yeah, it's pretty rare, but sometimes you do get it. But even then, they won't be pooping on them because as soon as they lay them, they roll down and out.
Yeah, and so then they have the clean cuticle, and that way you can touch them, and they're not like, all right, well, this one is going to be nasty, so put it on top.
Well, that was another big problem because like you don't have to wash eggs
Nope.
if they're not being pooped on, and you also don't have to refrigerate them if you're not washing them. You can just keep them on the counter. So we would get the eggs, and like if they
wash all of them.
yeah, if they were being pooped on, it's like, okay, fucking Saturday morning, here we are. We're gonna wash 7 fucking dozen eggs.
More than 7, like 15 dozen.
Sometimes, yeah, it got pretty bad. So we'd wash them all and then put them into tons of fucking egg cartons and everything like that, and then we'd put a bunch of them in our refrigerator and then take a bunch of them out to all our friends and all of our neighbors and everything like that. It was, like I said, it was becoming like a real fucking production. We should have given away some of the hens and kept like, you know, the Easter egger and
But then like who? Because they were all named.
yeah, I know. Well, we would have kept the Easter egger. We would have kept Beyonce.
No, we couldn't have kept the Easter egger because she was taken.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah,
the one that
didn't
got
she get
scooped up.
Shelby
Yeah.
got taken. So really, my preference would be to get at least 6 Americanas.
We could have just kept the 4 sisters.
But then I loved Ash.
See, that's the problem. You fell in love with all of our chickens. Like,
No.
you're not going to tell me you would have gotten rid of Ash. You're not going to tell me you would have gotten rid of Beyonce.
Tank and Dozer. Oh
You
no.
wouldn't have gotten rid of Tank and Dozer.
Beyonce was like the princess. Hello.
Yeah, so if we had
She
to
was
like choose which
beautiful.
one of them we were going to keep. See, that's the problem is that like humans will especially women will pack bond with fucking anything. and
Fuck
for
you.
for you, it would have been like fucking Sophie's Choice. Which chickens are you going to send to? And by the way, they all went to an egg farm. A lovely woman who has a bunch of chickens that she has a full business and
6
everything like
dozen.
that. Yeah. So all the girls got to stay together, but they got more room and everything like that. So, like,
I
it would
really
have been.
hope Ash kind of recovered because they were really fucking mean to her.
Yeah, that was kind of brutal until we like really expanded the area that they had to run around in.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
that's
to do
crazy.
Yeah, if we had more than like 4, we'd really have to like figure out a bigger fencing solution and stuff like that.
Well, you guys are going to do the Victory Garden soon and clear
Yes.
all the rest of that shit out. So, do you want
So-
to have it?
I heard this idea. Yeah, all your raised beds, your raised planting beds and everything.
Oh, I'm just 2.
Do you think that's where it's going to stop?
Well, I don't know. We only have 1 fucking barrel.
Okay, so as I was getting ready to say, I was reading that article about the straw bale planting, where basically you lay down straw bales and you dig like an
Oh,
opening
God.
in them, and you put some
Straw
potting
bales.
soil in there, and then you put your seedlings in there, and basically as the straw bales decompose, they actually like act as fertilizer for your plants and everything like that. So you just got to keep them watered. And straw
Interesting.
bales are super cheap to grab around here. They're readily available. I was thinking of maybe just filling up the pickup truck with some of those and then doing, a couple of rows of those.
Oh, were you?
Look, you haven't gotten on your container garden this year, and there's seedlings fucking everywhere. And if we're going
No,
to try to
There's
make them,
seedlings everywhere. I have 1 fucking tray of seedlings, and you haven't cut the barrel in half for me to have a container garden.
okay, one, their seedlings at all of the stores we've been to in the area and all the nurseries, because people are looking for fucking canned goods and dry goods and shit like that and not thinking about making themselves more sustainable, which is what we should be moving towards. So not your seedlings that you just started a couple of days ago, fucking way late in the season, the actual seedlings that are available at stores right now.
Not way late in the season. It's actually the perfect time for what I planted. I'm right on schedule. I actually checked all the dates perfectly.
Okay, then I apologize for my ignorance, Mrs. Farmer's Almanac.
Thank you. I am Farmer's Almanac.
But also, we need to figure out a planting solution that is going to work for us to move more towards
We do.
self-sustainability.
Also, I just found a really cute chicken coop that I should send to you.
All right, shoot me the link.
Okay, it's on Tractor Supply. It's $3.50.
All right, bring in R. Kelly. Tell him to stay away from
Tell
my
him to
eyes.
stay away from my eyes. Yeah.
Yep, every time.
It's so adorable. It's an A-frame.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
cute.
And it's perfect for 4 to 6 chickens.
Did you send me the link?
I
Nope.
will.
Diesel Power Gear just sent me a text. Do you feel lucky?
I don't know. Do you?
Spin the wheel of Diesel and win all sorts of prizes. Everyone wins something, and you could win a new BA golf cart or even a fucking Ford Predator.
No,
What?
you're not winning shit from them because they owe a lot of money to the government.
Or even Predator, the 2020 Power Stroke Diesel. Oh, I want to win Predator.
Mm.
Speaking of,
Dude, I wanted to
speaking of
win
that,
Alpha so bad.
Check your
The-
email again.
Huh?
Check your email again.
Check my email.
Yeah.
have you moved any closer to getting that Tahoe that you were talking about?
Oh, good luck. Please, let's play off that friggin'
Good luck.
truck.
The Tacoma is fine for now. I don't need something bigger. I just want something bigger.
Yeah. Everything's a
Oh,
at this point. We are good.
that's really fucking cute, actually.
Thank
And
you.
we wouldn't even need to put that underneath the overhang of the shed
No,
because it's got such a
perfect,
steep roof pitch.
right?
All right, buy it.
Buy it, package it. I need it.
Buy it. Sack up hope.
I'm so scared to pull the trigger.
Why? Buy it. Buy it now.
Buy it.
I know, but like,
No, there is no but like we need it.
all right, let me review it. Hold on. All right, so it's got the tray that pulls out.
If we build something ourselves, it's going to cost us half as much, but we got to research it and build it and all kinds of shit like that.
Right, and it has a steel roof, so that's really cool. We got to think about how we're going to hook it up to the run.
The run?
That's
You mean
easy. Yeah, our chicken run.
chicken?
Yeah,
What's a
and
chicken?
the where the eggs,
Yeah, the area where the
nesting
chickens
boxes
run
are
around, so they have
definitely
plenty of
not-
Like the area that they're in. I thought it was like a run like Ruby and Tucker would have. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, technically, it is a dog run too.
Yeah, we bought a big 10. We bought a big like dog
10
kennel.
by 10.
Yeah, it's a 10 by 10 dog kennel, and we just attach that to the side of the coop, so they have a nice area to run around.
Oh, that's cool.
And we've put
You've
the dogs
seen
in
it.
there.
I don't know why you're acting like you haven't.
I've only seen you guys free range them. I've never seen that thing before. I
Well,
know
we
what
do
you're
free
talking
range
about.
as well, but we had some problems because our neighbors are very big wild bird aficionados. They have like 10 fucking bird feeders on their property,
Oh,
and
yeah.
our chickens, because the birds and the squirrels go over there and they knock seed out as they're eating everything else. So there's fucking bird seed all over the ground over there. And they're like, oh, chickadees and blue jays and yada, yada, yada. And our fucking chickens were like, oh shit, buffet! So yeah, one day while we were
barreled
away,
over there.
yeah, one day while we were on vacation and Addie's little sister was watching the chickens, all of the chickens went over to their back porch and were fucking pecking at the back door and like basically owning their backyard.
That's
And our neighbor was
incredible.
like, "What the
That's amazing.
fuck?"
Yeah, they were. Yeah, she was not happy.
Yeah, she sent us a text in the Dominican Republic.
I can see that being a little awkward. Hey, not to bother you while you're 5,000 miles away, but motherfucker.
But your chickens are
Goddamn
pecking on my
chickens.
back door right now.
Mm.
And we apologized and everything like that. And we told Abby's little sister, hey, keep the chickens in their run
Okay.
for right now. And then it was super weird. Like we got back and then our neighbors were like, hey, we felt really bad that the chickens then had to be like locked up for the rest of the time that you were gone. And we feel bad that we like snitched on them. And I was like, look, I'm getting really mixed signals here. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do with this. So we'll just let the chickens out while we're home. And we can watch them and make sure fucking coyotes aren't snatching up Shelby's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because all there was a trail of blood and feathers leading back to the woods. We were like, oh no. Well, the circle of a life.
now let me ask you this. In Berwick, if you, let's say that you were out locked on up and a fucking coyote like started in on one of these, if you put 3 rounds center mass and some douchebag called the police, I mean, what would they be able to do anything for you if you're protecting literal livestock?
I think
Even though
there's
it's, like,
actually
resident?
laws I think there's actually laws on the books in Maine for protecting livestock. Because I know the laws about self-defense and defense of a third party, but I haven't researched the laws on protection of livestock, but I know that they exist because of the big agricultural community in Maine.
Yeah, the state produces an enormous amount of agricultural products, maple syrup, potatoes, I mean, you name it. There's tons of stuff.
I love how you
Um,
immediately named 2 things that you don't really need to protect with guns. Yes,
No,
maple
I-
syrup and potatoes.
I mean, like,
The coyotes are always trying to get those.
goddamn maple syrup coyotes are back.
Goddamn maple syrup coyote gangs.
That's not what I meant.
Goddamn potato eating fucking coyotes.
I meant that the state produces a large amount of agricultural products, including maple syrup, potatoes, but also tons of cows and sheep and horses, shit like that too. Asshole. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm pretty sure Maine and all the rest of the states have some sort of supremacy clause where they're like, hey, listen, we have laws about the livestock on the books, and if you have a local no firearms ordinance or like don't discharge a firearm within like 500 yards or whatever, it can be superseded by this law because of the state supremacy clause.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what law would take precedence about that. Whereas I know if you draw your firearm to defend yourself or defend a third party, it really doesn't matter like how far you are away from a dwelling or shit like that. That normally applies to firing
Target shooting or sports
yeah
shooting or
firing weapons of any kind like within 300 feet of other people's dwellings.
It's 100. It's within 100 yards of, like a property.
Yeah, someone else's property. But that's just like if you're target shooting. Like if you're defending yourself.
pretty much everything goes out the window at that point, I would imagine.
I
Everywhere.
mean, not entirely. You can't endanger other people, which is why the 4th safety rule is always know your target and what's beyond it. But at the same time, like if you're defending yourself and as long as you're placing your shots and not endangering someone that might be beyond your target and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not going to use a cannon.
Yeah, then it's not really an issue. But I don't know how, like, which would take precedence if it's in defense of livestock. Like the distance laws might.
Honestly, I'd call a firearms attorney. And honestly, at this point, put one on retainer while you're at it. Like, you know, you're a
What are
Second
you, the
Amendment
fucking
person.
Kardashians? God damn, dude! Like
No,
I have a lawyer, and I will call him up if I need him. But keeping a lawyer on a firearms lawyer on retainer, that's outside the scope of the majority of Americans, even ones that wish to exercise their Second Amendment rights. I feel like that might be a just-in-time call that I can make and be like, hey, look, I need some help on this one. Otherwise, I'm going to have
All
to
right.
Google food that shit.
when I meant on retainer, I mean like, what fee do I have to give you so that I could just call you and be like, hey, I'm in trouble, and have you be like, hey, you know, it's like 5 p.m. on a Friday, and I'm not going to tell you to fuck off because you're a stranger to me. That's all.
Yeah, that means that's on retainer,
Yeah,
but
that's retainer.
that
All right.
cost a significant amount of money. That is.
We'll just go down to the Grog in Newburyport.
Yeah. Oh
What?
God. No, we met this guy at the Grog in Newburyport, and he was fantastic and also hammered.
Shit-faced, but fantastic.
Oh my God, he was super shit-faced. And they were like, yeah, he's like this all the time. But here's the thing, he's also like a really well-respected lawyer. Like he fucking crushes it in the courtroom and then immediately heads to the bar and gets fucking annihilated. And he was such a nice guy.
Awesome.
And like
I love him.
the bartenders were like, is he
Get him
bothering
away
you? And I'm
from
like,
us.
no, he's the most entertaining person I have met in months.
They were apologizing to us, and they were trying to like get him away from us, and we were like, no, we like
You're like,
him.
no, you don't fucking move him. I called him up and I was like, give him my card.
So he's a lawyer?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, and he's a criminal offense attorney or what?
I don't know what kind of law he practices at all, but
we want to go back there just to go get to like meet him again because
he
him.
was such a nice guy. And he was like, oh, here's pictures from my recent hiking trip in Nepal. I was like, oh shit.
This dude fucks.
This dude fucks.
He was so shit-faced. He bought our drinks.
Yeah, that was another thing too. He was like, yeah, I got their tab. And she was like, are you sure? And he's like, fuck yeah. He's like, he makes money hand over fist. Like he was the dude that's got like the Patagonia vest and like
they were trying to kick him out, and we were like, he's just trying to make friends. Like,
yeah, they were like, do you want us to kick him out?
Have conversation with people. He's shit-faced.
Kick yourself out.
Let him stay and just try to sober up. Don't kick him out. That's
yeah, they were like, they weren't serving him anymore. Like he had enough, and they were like, okay, well, you're not having anything else but water and fucking Sprite from now on. He was like, okay.
Conversation.
Yeah, and he was just sitting there showing us pictures from his fucking hiking trip and his travels throughout Asia, and we're talking and having a good time. And they're like, do you want us to kick him out? And I'm like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is literally the people I go to bars to meet.
There it is.
Like this is Boston. Hello?
It's because they're too soft of a community now. Like you get too far away from a city and they're like, oh my God, just actually, you know what? That's not a fair assessment.
I'm to go back to Newburyport just to go and hang out with this dude.
He was really cool.
Let's go find him and bring him back here.
That's what I want to do.
And invite him to a barbecue at your place.
Oh
yeah.
I so got time to have that dude at a barbecue at our place.
Fuck yeah.
Like we definitely need to go back there and just go and just hang out at the Grog and find him again.
Also, shout out to my friend Nicole who sent me a message on Facebook today offering at-home workouts, like screenshots of at-home workouts that she's been doing because she's like, yeah, I'm just getting jacked during quarantine. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, I really can't wait to go back to the gym.
I've been doing the kettlebell thing like roughly every other day.
So yes, you've been doing that. Can I just tell you, Justin, we went to Walmart today. There was no
man.
wait.
There was
There were
there
no
was
kettlebells. There were no like actual weights available.
we went to
Wow.
the fitness section in Walmart, and there was an exercise ball, like one yoga ball, and
Wiped out. Just
one
wiped out.
2.5 pound weight plate. That was it. Every free weight, every kettlebell, every fucking there was a pull-up bar, but it was like a shitty design one where like
They had
as you're grabbing the
smaller weights.
handles,
They had,
like your
the
arms are
2-pound weights
against.
available, but I'm like,
Hello.
who the fuck is using that shit?
They had one like pull-up bar thing that was a shitty design, so like when you're grabbing the handles, your arms are against the door frame type of thing.
What?
It was like the worst fucking design ever, and there was like one of those left. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And there was nothing else, like grip strength stuff, fucking bands.
Yeah, there was just nothing. It was bad.
All for the first time, there was like not a single fucking elliptical or treadmill like up on the shelves thing. They had fucking nothing. They had no like the sweatsuits, like the plastic suits that like what wrestlers wear before weigh-ins. Like there was fucking nothing. Every dumbbell, every plate, every kettlebell. We were like, holy shit. We're gonna have to start making stuff out of concrete.
Yeah, pretty much. Just start casting your own shit out of sand and nickel.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't wait to go back to the gym. I mean, I'll get up in the morning and, I'm at my desk in like a half hour, and I miss like, getting up like 2 hours or so before work, going, listening to music, doing the workout, coming back, taking a shower. It was a nice ritual. And now like that we're work from home, it's like my alarm goes off at 6:30 and I'm in that chair at like 7-ish. And it's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird, I do miss going to the gym because I like to lift heavy. I miss the barbell. I wish I had pulled the trigger on getting a squat rack and a whole bunch of weights and stuff like that, but it's so goddamn expensive to get like a full home setup.
Dude, like, I just went on Amazon and
This is an 18-minute sentence.
Shut up. This 5-pound weight on Amazon, 5-pound kettlebell, is $102.97.
What? For a 5-pound
crazy.
kettlebell?
So and this is what I've been doing is like I go on Amazon and I see what is like these things that are going like crazy in the stores, and I just go and report them for fucking price gouging and just get the fucking listing removed because fuck them.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Price gouging has been fucking ridiculous on Amazon.
Because Amazon does remove the ads because I reported another thing for fucking active dry yeast that I've been trying to fucking find because you can't find that shit either. And
yeah, everybody's a fucking at-home baker now.
Within the last fucking day.
Do you want some fresh baked bread, Daniel? I have some.
Literally everyone has been like, oh, I made fresh baked bread. I made fresh fucking pizza dough. I made this. I made that. I made the other. We're all fucking colonialists now. Like everyone's like, I'm tending my garden. Yo. Dude, we did the podcast with Dean last night, and fucking Dean was like, my son has mowed the lawn twice a day, every day.
Twice a day? My God. Holy fuck. I know gas is cheap, but that's crazy.
I'm hoping he's using a push mower for the sake of the environment, but like seriously, every day I hear lawnmowers in our neighborhood. Like every single neighbor that had like the shitty lawn or like a pile of fucking brush or whatever, our neighborhood is so fucking beautiful right now. Everybody's out there every day trimming the hedges,
fucking crazy,
burning all the brush and fucking underbrush and bullshit like that, and mowing the lawn, and like they're like, well, I got fucking time now. I better build a deck.
Yeah, dude, we passed by Home Depot yesterday. It was fucking packed. packed. Not yesterday, today. And like, I could not believe how many fucking people were there. Like,
At Home Depot?
Home Depot. We were coming back from Kittery, or Northampton rather. And
Yo, I don't go to Home Depot anymore because
Fuck
for their
'em.
veteran discount, I went there and I was like, yeah, all I have is my expired ID from the Marine Corps. And they were like, yeah, but, or no, she was like, oh, do you have ID? And I showed her my expired ID from the Marine Corps. And she was like, this is expired. And I'm like, right, because I'm not in the Marine Corps
veteran,
anymore.
you idiot.
That's the definition of a fucking veteran. She goes, I can't accept this. And I go, oh, well, you can put all of this shit back. Bye. And I fucking left, and we haven't been back to fucking Home Depot since. And we've had an account at Lowe's since
Good.
then, because I showed them my fucking ID once, and they were like, oh, okay, cool. We'll put it in our computer system. So whenever you come again, you, like, occasionally they'll check like, my driver's license to see that I'm actually, like, me.
Yeah, that you're Dan Langdon instead
Right,
of
Yeah,
exactly.
Jose Torres or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
I have a different last name than him, but we have the same address, so I can use it.
Mhm.
But also, Lowe's will price match anything that Home Depot does. So fuck Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Home Depot
Hence, I got my paint
lost my
sprayer
fucking
for less
respect
money.
and lost my business for fucking life for their bullshit
Yep.
practices. Because I was like, yo, can I set up an account where like I show you documentation that I'm a veteran and that I don't have to, like, I'm not going to bring a fucking DD-214 every time I go to goddamn Home Depot.
That's way too much to ask.
And I don't have time to go to the fucking Veterans Association and get a veteran ID card. Like, they have more important shit going on right now.
1,000,000%.
It's like, why are you making this so goddamn difficult? Like, and literally anytime a business or anything makes anything too difficult for me,
You're out.
I'm done.
Dollar votes.
That's literally, yeah, dollar votes. That's literally the definition of a free and open market. And the people that provide me the service that I want and adhere to their own fucking policies are the ones that are going to get my business.
Did
Don't
you
tell
ever
me
tell
you're going to
corporate
give a
that?
veteran fucking discount, but I need to fucking play within your goddamn rules every single time. I got to do a little fucking tap dance to make you happy in order to
Nope.
give me 10% off. All right, fine. Fuck you. I'll go to Lowe's where they checked it once. They put me in the file and they're like, all right, okay, you're good. Just give me your phone number when you come in.
You want to know what's really shitty about this whole situation? That unless Home Depot corporate was involved and like that's their policy of they need all of this shit, that minimum wage cashier lost Home Depot thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in business by being an obstinate fuck. And if
Yeah.
you
Undoubtedly. Because
if
I've
you
spent fucking thousands of dollars at goddamn Lowe's.
Yeah. and you
Yeah.
adamantly refuse to go back to Home Depot. If I gave
Yep.
you a $50 Home Depot gift card, you'd
I
be
would
angry with
sell
me.
it on the internet.
You're goddamn right you
No, I
would,
wouldn't
and you
even
would have
bother.
every
I would
right.
cut it up and say sorry. I wouldn't
Yep.
even sell it. I would just cut it up. I don't care.
No, I'm not going to waste somebody else's money, but I would sell it on the internet.
But like out of principle, you're never going to go there, and you're going to tell as many people as you possibly can.
I'm telling
About-
all 47 of our viewers right now, never go to Home Depot ever again. Go to Lowe's.
But that's the thing. Dude, I used to work in marketing. I know all about this shit. Negative reviews, negative word of mouth is 10 times more powerful than
Yeah.
positive word of mouth.
You
Because
tell more people about negativity than you do positivity.
Yep.
Yo, do you do this? Do you go on Amazon and you find a product that you're trying to buy and you find the one with the highest reviews and then immediately go to all the 1-star reviews
Always. No.
and
'cause-
read every fucking last one?
Yep. Because a lot of
Why
those people have
never buy
legit
anything
complaints.
And tell him about it because then he goes to the negative reviews.
Dude, the first thing I do is I go to all the 1-star reviews and I find out, A, if there's a legitimate fucking problem with the product that people are experiencing. B, if that legitimate problem has been like a recent thing because there's a lot of like boot companies that like recently shifted all their fucking production to China, and all of a sudden their fucking value just like the
Went
actual
to shit,
value
yeah.
of the boot, like the how well it stands up to abuse and stuff like that. Like there's tons of products that are like, oh, we fucking built an awesome name for ourselves, but also we can really increase our profit margins if we suddenly have everything made in Pakistan out of fucking pot steel. Like it's a real fucking problem. So the first thing I check is if there's a real legitimate problem with the product. B, if the legitimate problems with that product have been a recent development due to shipping manufacturing elsewhere and it isn't being controlled like it used to be, or if it was like an old problem, or if it's just straight up fucking user error. Like when you read a review
Yes.
and the person was like, I couldn't figure out how to fucking do it. I don't know why I decided that I needed to buy this because I've never done this before, but this is a bullshit product. It's like, well,
Yeah.
bro, this is not a product for you. You're not meant to have that. Like,
I'm trying to find it, but you mentioned boots. There's a company in Zimbabwe that makes boots, and supposedly like they're the highest quality boots on the market or something. They're called Courtney boots, and they're really fucking awesome looking. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that just transitions work to Asia because it's cheap. A lot of
yeah,
the
there was a, how do you spell it?
COU fuck
Courtney, like the name Courtney.
COURTENEY.
ENEY.
The camera fixed it. You can look now.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are interesting. Safari boots and shoes. Yeah, I forget what company it was that I used to buy their fucking boots all the time because they were American made. They stand up to all the abuse that you put them through. Because like, but before transitioning over to the job that I have now, like I've always had very difficult, very labor intensive jobs, whether it was literally contract security or becoming a ship fitter and stuff like that. Like I beat the shit out of boots. I've always beat the shit out of boots. Like since I turned 18, I have been beating the shits out of boots since I was 18 years old, and I'm fucking 40 now. So when I find a good boot company, I'm going to buy boots from them every fucking year if I keep beating the shit out of the boots. But then when all of a sudden your boots last 4 months, you've lost my business. And then I find out, oh, the reason your fucking boots are lasting 4 months is because you transferred fucking manufacturing to China and they're using fucking plastic thread and,
just garbage leather, like hot, low quality, poorly tanned, poorly preserved. Like, yeah, you can find boots made in America. You can find high quality boots made, abroad. But yeah, if you're moving operations to China to cut costs, you're not really interested in quality necessarily, unless you're going there to start production of a high quality anything. But generally you're going to move to China because you're cutting costs and going, the only place I can trim anything is labor because costs are fixed for material.
But here's the thing, like the problems that arise are not from the labor. Like there's nothing wrong with actual Chinese labor. The problem occurs with materials that go into it. All of a sudden they're using a thinner gauge leather and they're using inferior fucking thread for the stitching, and like, I mean, there's a host of fucking problems, or there's not someone there that's making sure that all of a sudden they're not cutting additional corners so to increase their profits and shit like that. Like The problem with not keeping shit in-house is that the quality, the value of things inevitably drops off. And that's not just, being jingoistic fucking nationalist, like it's got to be made in America. Like there's plenty of good things that are made in other countries, but as long as they're made to the standards that they created, then I'm perfectly fine with buying a product from another country. But if the quality suddenly fucking plummets because nobody's there saying, hey, don't use fucking recycled bottles for fucking stitching. Don't like,
don't do that. No, and I wasn't trying to imply that, Chinese labor is worse than American labor. It's more like, we're a company and we're trying to save money. So we've slashed our material costs as much as we possibly can. The only thing that we have left is to slash our labor costs. And, we've cut benefits, pay, etc., as much as we can. The only thing we can do is now pay, people in China, Vietnam, what have you, a couple dollars a day. And that's how we're going to, maintain our profit margin or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, like Tesla is making cars in China that people are reviewing and saying that they're better than the ones made in America. That's probably true. You have hundreds of thousands of people who are migrating from other auto industry plants in that area and going, well, yeah, I have a bunch of experience building cars. Not necessarily so in California, where there really aren't a whole lot of auto manufacturers. I mean, there are, but it's not like the American South or Michigan or Detroit or, Ohio. That's not where the Tesla factory is. But there's a ton of fucking car factories in China. And so they're probably just like,
oh, what's actually like gone under the radar due to this fucking COVID-19 shit is Trump repealing a lot of the EPA standards that were implemented during the Obama administration.
Yeah.
Yeah, California was freaking the fuck out because they were rolling back like the sustainability goals that businesses had to adhere to by like a certain time frame or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And the Trump administration basically just fucking repealed all of those. They were like, oh, you're got to be zero emissions by fucking 2030. Yeah, no, you don't have to do that. Don't worry about it.
It's deregulation in the name of deregulation. It's fucking stupid.
Dude, there's been so much like, okay, the environment is repairing itself quite a bit because of, people traveling less and staying home and everything like that. But there's also been so much like, everything is fucking disposable now. Like everything is fuck the environment now that people realize that you can get infections from things like, don't bring your fucking reusable bags into the store at all, or we'll send you the fuck away. And if it's not fucking disposable, don't bring that shit in here because we can't ensure that the virus is not in it and all kinds of shit like that. Like people are fucking, especially in urban centers, dumping masks and gloves and shit like that
in parking lots and shit.
Just fucking throwing them. I mean, obviously we're talking about the worst of fucking human behavior, but like,
welcome to humanity. We're disgusting.
When the fucking chips are down, all of a sudden it's like, oh right, fuck the environment. Let's just make sure that we're using shit that we can throw away and burn, and it's not going to infect other people.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and it's a real shame because a lot of the whole like straws are bad for the environment, that kind of thing is like bad for the environment. People are starting to like realize that the single-use plastics are a huge problem for everyone, and people are becoming a little bit more aware of maybe we shouldn't eat every single meal with a disposable fork and a disposable plate just because we're lazy. Like, don't get me wrong. We had
already been moving in that direction with the single-use, the vast elimination of single-use plastics. But here's the thing: like, there were stores that were talking about we're going to charge you additional if we have to provide you with bags. Like, we're going to charge you an extra fucking 10 to 40 cents a bag. Wasn't Whole Foods doing that? They were going to charge in some areas an additional 40 cents a bag to bag up your groceries if you didn't bring in reusable bags. And now they're like, no, if you bring reusable bags in the store, we will fucking sick
you
the
away.
SWAT
We will
team on
open
you.
fire.
We will open fire with actual flamethrowers, like with real fire. We'll open fire with fire. When
No,
fucking
and
Whole Foods is buying flamethrowers, you know shit has gone utterly sideways.
yeah, I mean, quite frankly, like the COVID-19 virus is spread primarily through touch. You know, where someone puts their mouth on something or touches their face.
Well, it's
Droplets.
But
in droplets from your
droplets.
breath as well,
Yeah.
which is why they
Your
say,
droplets in your breath.
yeah, which is why the
So-
CDC has recommended that everyone, if you're going out in public, wear a mask. And I recently just watched a video that was like a heat map and moisture map type of thing. It showed like a dude in profile view, and like when he was speaking and stuff like that, like how far his breath went and like the droplets and everything like that, and then showed it like while he was wearing just a simple mask, and there was nothing. There was just like the normal heat signature around him. And it's like, wearing the mask, it provides you some protection, but what it really does is provide everyone around you protection. And if everyone fucking does it, then everyone is better off. And the CDC fucking limped into the ring with this fucking bullshit because they were so worried about people buying up masks that should be used by medical professionals and stuff like that. And now they're realizing, oh shit, we should have provided at least some kind of fucking guidance.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that a lot of people don't realize is that those masks really aren't for your protection. They're for everyone else's protection.
I mean, they do provide you some protection, but it's really
Some,
about other
largely
people's protection.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked at Lonza, we had to wear masks all the time, and it was required for a lot of our open processes where you have active culture open to the air, and if you have the hood in front of you, you're still operating, but you still have the mask on, because if you breathe anything into the flow hood that may get through somehow and into that culture, you just contaminated $5 million worth of culture. That's bad. Yeah. I did the math out because, again, I had the interview today, and they asked a bunch of stuff about Lonza, and they're like, so when was the last time you identified like potential waste in your company's process or whatever? And I was like, well, let me tell you about this. At $250 per liter, the Strensic medicine that I brewed up at Lonza, they would just fucking dump that a lot, just because. It's like, yeah, well, we had a great run, but we're deciding to dump it so that we could start over or whatever. And I'm like, maybe stop fucking doing that. I don't know. Just a thought. You're telling us that your hiring's at a crisis and morale's in the fucking deep end. Maybe it's because you're just dumping good, viable product down the drain. Maybe stop fucking doing that. So yeah.
Oh, actually, we just fucking read about something like that. This dude threw away in the Midwest 56,000 gallons of milk because people aren't buying it, he said. A dairy farm.
But that's
56,000 gallons of milk. It
doesn't make any sense. Like, we're all still living, breathing people. We all still need food and stuff. Like, where is all of this milk? Like, would it have gone? Like, are they dead? Like, come on.
Apparently, some people just aren't buying milk for whatever reason right now.
Or, hey,
like, milk is the one thing we can still find.
Yeah.
What's that?
How about like shelters? How about donating it?
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure shelters could use it for like baking needs or like.
Well, that's been a problem in the United States for like the past 30 years or so. Whereas, like, because of corn subsidies and stuff like that, in order to keep the market value of a certain type of crop, a huge amount of it is destroyed every year of each individual kind of crop in order to keep the market value of them. So like corn is one, soybeans,
Yeah,
alfalfa for feed.
it's disgusting. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
what I'm learning about in microeconomics. It's really fucking gross about what's happening with our fucking society.
I mean, it's really weird. I mean, we're such a rich country now, and we've got such advances in agriculture and stuff like that that in order to keep things economically viable, we have to dispose of a certain amount of those things because we can produce so much of it.
Right.
And because government subsidies come in for a certain amount of those things, and they're like, we'll give you X amount of dollars if you produce X amount of product, but then they can't sell that product or else it would drive the value of that product incredibly low. So the government is paying them to produce it, and then they have to destroy a percentage of it in order to not fuck our entire economy.
To write a fucking article about how a farmer fucking wasted 56,000 fucking gallons of fucking milk is ridiculous when he could have fucking donated that shit all around the fucking country to shelters so that they could make product to
Well, then you
give
have to
away
ship it.
homeless societies is ridiculous.
So hold up.
And you have to refrigerate it. You have to ship it.
Shipping's not that hard though. That's 6 tankers.
It's not fucking hard.
That's
and considering
6
the
tanker
fact
trucks.
that the
That's
government is giving away billions of dollars in subsidies is ridiculous.
But here's the thing. That's one farm in the Midwest where you're saying, well, he should just fucking ship it wherever it needs to go. A, that's coming out of his bottom line.
No, it's not. No, it's not. He's getting that fucking money back from the government, so don't even fucking tell me that shit.
That's not necessarily
He's
true.
getting that fucking money back from the government.
That's not necessarily true. Okay, you're not backing that up with any fucking information, so you can't just keep yelling, he's getting that money back from the government, and not back it up with any fucking facts.
Donating it. Tax deduction.
But also, as I was going to say next, every farm, every big dairy farm is probably doing the exact same thing because every single person that is running a farm and is seeing a drastic decrease in the amount of their product being purchased has to dump that. Like, that's an article about one dude, but you're not going to tell me that that's not widespread across the entire nation.
Turn that shit into cheese, motherfucker. I'd eat that shit and buy it.
I too would drink a fuck ton. In fact, I'm gonna drink more milk like right after we finish.
Not shit. Turn it into cheese. I want to eat it.
I am going to pour myself a nice wobbly tall glass of milk and fucking drink all of it.
Oh, I can't fucking drink milk. Oh,
why not?
Dude, I had some chocolate milk today. And there was way
Whole
more
milk
in
too.
the jug than I thought. I was like, there's like, this much, whatever. Like you're like, like 3 fingers of chocolate milk or whatever in the bottom of the jug. You're like, I'll just fucking have this after dinner. And then like I started drinking it and I realized that there was damn near a fucking quart of chocolate milk. I was like, oh god damn it. But now I put my mouth on the container.
You're the only one who's gonna drink it anyway, so who cares?
There's still the part of me that doesn't like.
Also, we kiss, so who cares?
Oh, gross.
I'm gonna come over and drink right out of your milk jug, Dan.
You are not.
Oh yeah?
You're in quarantine, so no, you're not.
Oh.
Also, you're still under quarantine because you just went into remote, so you still have like another week of quarantine.
Yeah, you
Hence
do.
why we wouldn't come to the door when you came over to our house.
Yeah, you recently quarantined bitch.
Yeah, we went out today. Honestly, I had like a horrendously terrible flu, like the worst sickness I've ever had this past December. I was sick for 6 weeks, and I mean like laid up sick for like 6 fucking weeks. I'd be home and I'd be under a blanket, dying, miserable the whole fucking time. I'd drag my ass to work. What?
Could you breathe?
Yeah, but it was a nasty, like crackly, like cough that I had, real productive and nasty. And it doesn't necessarily sound like the coronavirus, but like there was a lot of like, hey, you're struggling to breathe, you have high fever, chills, like nausea. That was me, like
Dude,
the
Bert
whole
Kreischer
time.
was on the Joe Rogan podcast like within like the past week or so, and he was talking about how he realized it like way later that he had like H1N1 or or like
A
fucking
lot of people did.
avian flu or something. Like he was like, I was the sickest I'd ever been in my entire life, and it wasn't until like a damn near a year later that I put it together that I actually had one of these fucking
Yeah.
pandemics because he was traveling a lot. And thankfully, that wasn't nearly as deadly as this one has proven to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy that we have the advancements in medical science that we have. And like, if you think about back in the fucking Spanish flu, like they were talking about the morbidity rate of like the time when the Spanish flu existed, and I'm like, yeah, but doctors still weren't fucking sure that you had to wash your hands between patients back then. Like,
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of that, but I mean, nowhere close to what it is now.
Right, but
Nothing.
I mean, doctors are now running out of gloves, so
Yeah, they are. They're running out of lots of things, and it's really unfortunate that the healthcare system in this country is what it is. But it's also super unfortunate that we had the leader of our country telling us pretty much up until the middle of March, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it, we're fine. And then 2 weeks later, we had no idea that this was coming. Why didn't the states prepare? It's like maybe because they had some idiot telling them that there was nothing to worry about.
and now, well, hold on, 2 weeks later, all of the governors had basically taken charge anyway and decided, hey, we're not going to listen to the president. We're going to fucking take charge of our states and just do what we want to fucking do. And here we are. New York has more cases than Italy or Spain or China, where the fucking virus was.
this is why people on the political right are saying we need a reduction in federal government, because nothing is handled more haphazardly and bullshittedly than fucking putting it in the hands of the federal government. Like, fucking return the power to states' rights. Let's bring government down to a far more local level so that people can deal with things on the level that it isn't so goddamn nebulous and fucking dinosaurish. Like, it's incredibly difficult to get something done that's going to improve your quality of life on a federal level. The only thing that the federal government should be in charge of is protecting the rights and physical being of the people. They should be in charge of national defense, limiting the power of corporations to negatively impact individual people's lives, and fucking laws. When you get federal government involved in anything beyond that, it inevitably turns into a shit show.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I can't imagine what would have happened under a President Hillary.
Oh, God.
You know, and I always love making the but her emails joke, because like it's like, hey, you know, the fucking the world is on fire and it's literally Trump's fault and we have evidence of it. And then people are still gonna be like, well, you know, we're fucking emails, man. I've literally had that conversation before dozens of times. Like it's just they're laser focused on that shit. That aside,
Okay,
we don't know.
One thing that I truly believe is that the presidency is too big a job to be done by one fucking person.
It is.
We need, I mean, not necessarily like a parliament like the UK uses, but
Well, no, because the fucking prime minister is in ICU and he's still running shit. Hello?
Well, all right. The parliamentary system is very different, just because the prime minister is just a person in parliament, and they are elected by parliament. So like you can't vote for the prime minister in what's it called in the UK. So you can vote in parliament, but you can't vote for the prime minister, from what I understand.
But here's the thing: there
And
should be a committee of, I mean, an odd number of people, so like 9, so that 5 people can outvote 4 people. But they need to like have
Our
real,
Supreme Court, but they're elected by the people.
yeah, but they need to have like real, legitimate, fucking like prerequisites before you're allowed to do that job.
so you're literally talking about the executive council in New Hampshire. That's literally what
Oh my god, it's
what
like
New Hampshire
states,
has.
it's like state rights.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like we do
bring
things
it
better
back.
at a local level than putting it in the hands of the federal government.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Think of it this way. I remember watching a gubernatorial debate because the mayor of Portsmouth was running back in 2016, and I was really interested in that dude's candidacy. And so I watched a debate between him and the other 2 Democrats that were running, and the one dude that ended up winning the nomination, but then lost to what's his name, Sununu. He described
God.
he described, it was Colin Van Ostern. He was describing what the executive council was, and he's like, it's like the board of directors for the governor if the governor was a CEO. So like we can outvote the governor. So if the governor's like, I am going to sign that motherfucking bill, and the executive council's like, no, the motherfuck you're not, 5-0, they can overturn. Well, really 3-2 can overturn.
Well, that's great if you can actually like enforce that and implement it. And what this Trump presidency has proven is that though we have a 3 fucking branch system of government and there's supposed to be checks and balances, if you've got one dude who's just like, no, I'm just going to do this, and he's the president, he'll just fucking do that.
Yeah,
And then you have to like try to figure out a way to fucking stop it. Like we've had
yeah.
a president for the past 4 years that's just like, no, I'm just going to do this and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck happened to our political system that people aren't going, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to,
You know why?
we're not going to hold fucking all of government hostage for you to build a wall between our country and Mexico. And by the way, the Mexican government now is denying U.S. citizens from jumping the border to go into Mexico.
That's fantastic.
Ever since we became the country with the highest fucking population of COVID-19 infected personnel, they're like, no, you can't come this way.
No, can you build that wall faster, please?
Yeah, build the wall faster.
Right.
All right, I guess we'll pay for the wall now. Not because it was Trump's
Wait,
idea. Now it's our idea.
Here's your money. Let's build that wall.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
the wall.
I'm not sure what that is in Spanish, but just imagine that that's what.
Yeah, it's something. But you know why is the executive branch has consolidated power ever since Ronald Reagan.
Well, yeah.
And it has been Ronald Reagan's influence on the Republican Party and on the Democratic Party, quite frankly. Like he changed the landscape of the country.
Construir eso muro. Construir eso muro.
It doesn't have the same ring to
Muro.
it.
Construir eso muro.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No,
So like
it doesn't flow off the tongue quite
the
as
Supreme
easily
Court
as build that
fucking-
wall.
they vote 5-4 on fucking anything. You have the Congress who is just in Trump's back pocket. You know, they vote with him
Can we
100% of the
discuss how
time.
much we need fucking term limits on Congress and Senate right now? And God damn.
All right, we're getting too far deep into this, and
Okay.
We have
Well-
hit 2.5 hours so far, so
Yeah.
it's time to call.
Yeah. We should call that Also, because I'm
We
done.
should plan for another night.
Yeah, I'm also dry on that second beer that Maggie gave me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up.
Thank you so much for everyone who joined us tonight.